Hello, Mercedes. This will be some video feedback for you on the print ad. And we've got 4 weeks to go. If you have any questions or if I can help you in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. I publish my number in the announcements. So from now until the end of the term, I bid you strength. Mercedes, this is simple and subtle. Even though you have used bands, you've kept them, fairly subtle, and I like that. I like the minimal ingredients. It's very enticing. You have bent, I guess, the photo towards the corporate palette, or adjusted it, and you've successfully imported the logo. It looks like. Also, you've discreetly put the typography on the bottom. It's much like the typography of a letterhead. You want to get as even a bar as you can visually. And it's just, it needs to be legible, but it really needs to be treated as a design element, anything that you put on it. And I guess the only thing I would suggest maybe is something three-dimensional, maybe in the foreground, just to increase that sense of depth and perspective that you have. And you might consider feathering out the bottom of the photograph and perhaps this subtle bar too, to white, if that's what this color is in the background. Okay, move things around. Although I like the centered arrangement, consider maybe other arrangements of type, and maybe an additional image that indicates that there's also an indoor component to the resort. I'm going to open it in Illustrator next, just to see what your file structure is like. Mercedes, I see that you do have things on layers, and it looks like I can turn them on or off at will. Yes, great. Great job. They're all, it doesn't really matter, I think, but they're all embedded or in that folder. And what is this? That's the logo. Looks like the logo is in several components. Just make sure, it's called a lockup. That's the relationship of the type to any pictorial elements of the logo. That relationship probably should remain the same. And of course, you probably, figured out early on that you have great control over the vectors, and you can distort them pretty easily. You don't want to do that, though. Nor do you want to squash it, left or right. That looks terrible. This looks worse. So avoid doing that when you scale things. You probably realize that if you if you hold down the Shift key after selecting everything, you can scale it proportionally. I think you could get away, I don't want to say get away, but this is beautifully simple and clean, but for the purposes of learning, perhaps consider a masked object. Good going.